A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science with the real world.
Hey everyone, what's good? Aaron and I here for an installment of Square Talk. Something kind of exciting, something that we've been talking about, and we call it Square Talk because people discuss at a round table. What's a square table? A round table, and usually knights from Camelot that do that. But Aaron and I, we are trying desperately to be knights, but we're not, so we're squares, and so we're calling this Square Talk, and I'm gonna get it started off with something a little juicy. So don't look at me like that, man. Maybe that was the wrong word. maybe I shouldn't have used that word. Okay, this is gonna be interesting, and I'm pretty sure you might not even have an answer to this. But you just asked out a really attractive girl and you're going on a date. What are you doing to pump yourself up?
Oh, that's
like,
a tough one.
Like, are you like every other person in the world that looks in the mirror and puts on their favorite jams and imagine themselves as the lead singer, grabs the hairbrush or shaving cream bottle and uses it as a mic?
Probably. I mean, music is... It's a must when preparing for a date, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
No, dude, I definitely feel like you can feel cool when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, be real with me. Do you ever listen to a boy band? Like, you're telling me that you're not just gonna put on Backstreet Boys or Dream Street? Wait, what is it called? Is it called Dream Street? Do you remember listening to them? They're called Dream Street, right?
I don't know.
Maybe down on Dream Street.
I'm not sure.
Maybe that was just a me thing. But I swear there's this band called Dream Street.
We'll have to look this
I don't
up.
know. Well, yeah, I'm going to look that up right now, actually.
I don't know. I think things that I do, I'll take a shower and I'll just like jam out in the shower and just chill and then get dressed and get ready and
What do you do to calm your nerves?
walk around, pace around the house.
just like keep walking. And when your mom's like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Mom, stop talking to me. I'm nervous, okay?
Yeah.
This girl's very cute." Okay, Dream Street. Yeah. A pop band.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what Let's see.
Everybody. That's Backstreet Boys. I'm just background music while you get it ready.
Well, I'm trying to see if I'm pretty sure. No, like, I know these guys. No, that's Dream Street by Janet Jackson. We don't want that one. Here, I'll just go with the first one that pops up. Let's see. I believe I know this one. This is a plane. Let's skip. Skip. Oh, yeah. No. I remember this now. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That wheezing is girls running down a hill towards the guy that is apparently singing to them. Okay, no, so Dream Street is a thing. I was right about that.
Nice.
Okay, so you pump yourself up by singing in the shower and then pacing around the house trying to calm your nerves.
Yeah. I haven't found the secret sauce yet, obviously. But
Dude, there is no, like, I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't know.
Yep.
Why are turtles green?
So they can blend in with their environment.
What environment, man? Most of the water is all brown and murky and gross.
They're optimistic.
They're
Their
optimistic.
idealism.
These turtles are just looking at this water like, if I try hard enough and I get enough of my boys around me, we're going to turn this brown river green right now. They're being optimistic.
Yes.
All right. So are those some of the things you love? Singing in the shower and thinking about green turtles?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes. Indeed.
Oh my gosh. Have I asked you the question yet of if you could have any... Actually, I think I brought this up before because you said that your one superpower would be something...
Teleportation.
Yeah.
I think I said.
I don't know. Something outlandish or whatever. And I said barbecue sauce coming out of your belly button.
Yeah.
Would you take barbecue sauce?
I don't think so.
What sauce would you take coming out of your belly button? Come on,
don't
dude.
know
There's
if
got
I
to be
could.
one. There's got to be one. That's the rule. I know you don't want... Nobody wants sauce coming out of their belly button. That's really gross. That's
if you
really gross.
had
But
to
if you
pick
had
one?
to pick one...
Probably ranch.
Ranch?
Yeah.
What do you put ranch on?
You can do it
Other
on
than
anything,
pizza.
man. Pizza,
Salads, yeah.
fries. You could do.
Okay, fries.
Yeah, you could do lots of different things. You can put it on burgers if you really want to. Although
Ranch mixed with barbecue sauce and that Frank's Red Hot.
ooh,
Oof. Dude, it'll smell like B-dubs up in your kitchen. It'll be awesome and you'll love it.
I like it.
It's delicious, man. It's delicious.
See, yes, I would take that power.
You have a whole entire belly button to work with. You could divide it up in little sections. Ranch. Ranch here, barbecue sauce here, Frank's Red Hot here. And you jump up and down to mix it all together. Dude, what is wrong with us, man? There's something wrong with us, man. This podcast isn't gonna make it. It's going to die. Man, what were we even talking about? Superpowers. Yes. And the superpower that I said last time, which I believe was I would use... I wish that I had the superpower to where I could voice emotion like how music does.
Yeah.
But and not sing it, but voice it, I guess they're kind of the same thing, but no, they're not. No, they're not. Because words can fail, but music will prevail. Like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but not to get so deep with a superpower. If I were to pick one, it'd probably be flying. I'm already like, I want to get my pilot's license, like really private pilot's license, like really bad. Find some innocent Cessna somewhere and do damage up in the sky. I think that would be something that would be really cool and hopefully not die. Dude, those small engine planes, like those one small engine planes, those things are crashing all the time, man. Like every single time you turn on the news, it's like another one just crashed, and you're just like, "What is going on here?" Like, But sure. I might not be smart enough to avoid it.
They are cool. I got to go up in one once, as part of like a senior trip, kind of a thing. My parents,
really,
yeah, they got a coupon for like 2 free flights, and it was like a 2 hour, or it was like a half an hour flight. You go up and then you come back down, and it's really cool. They did the zero gravity thing where they do a steep incline and all of a sudden they drop.
Oh,
So just for like a second, you're like weightless.
but that give you like butterflies and stuff in your stomach.
Yeah.
That would freak me out, man. I barely survived Tower of Terror.
It's basically the same thing.
Oh, jeez. Ugh.
But it's super cool. Super cool. Great. I had a lot of fun on that. But
Oh man, dude. I get you. Right.
okay. What was the last TV show you watched on Netflix
Dude,
or any streaming service?
any streaming service that I binged. Oh man. Man, I feel like this should be like, yes, you did this one, Matt. Like, but why am I blanking on it? There's one that's coming in my mind, but I know it's not the last one that I just barely binged. I think it was. Oh. There's still more of it to go, but when the live action of Avatar: The Last Airbender came out, I binged that one pretty hard, and the reason was because I got sick as a dog when I took a trip and got sick really, really bad, and when I came back, I had to miss work for almost a whole entire week. And so I just started binging that thing just because I remember how much I loved the animated, you know? So I just took that and I just rolled with it and just binged it all day. And to be honest, probably fell asleep during a lot. So don't ask me to quote the series back to you because I'm going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
What about you, man? What have you binged?
Well, I was watching a lot of... Well, I've been trying to get into Star Trek The Next Generation, which is an older TV show. But
That's the one with... the original series is Captain Kirk,
Right.
obviously. Picard?
Picard, yep.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also does Shakespeare, too. Have you seen him in Macbeth? I believe it is.
No, I haven't seen that.
Is this a dagger I see before me? he's in that one. Obviously not in the Shakespeare era, but he plays in a movie. Not to mention like X-Men or whatever. Anyways, so that's what you have been binging. Next Generation.
Yeah, that one, and there's a new X-Men series that's coming out called X-Men 97. I watched the first 2 episodes of that.
What's that about? What's so special about 97?
Because I think... I could be totally wrong about this, but I think the original X-Men, the cartoon, it aired and it ended in 1996. So X-Men 97 is like a modern day continuation. Like somebody now like in this moment in time decided to take that story and pick up where they left off. That's why it's called 97, because it ended in 96, started and decided keep going in 97. I think that's how it goes.
Sick.
I have no idea, but it's been pretty cool.
Dude, I like that. What universe would you rather live in? The Star Wars universe, Star Trek universe, or the X-Men universe? There's only one right answer to this question, so help me if you get it wrong, Aaron.
If I had to, I would probably choose Star Trek. Out of all of them. That's the series.
That's okay.
that I've been-
That's okay.
But I think I know which one you...
Which
are
one would I
thinking.
choose, Aaron?
Star Wars.
Yes, I would choose Star Wars, man. I would fly a bomber right over your Enterprise and I'd blow it the fruit up.
Probably, actually.
I don't know, man. Do you think a bomber has any effect on a Enterprise's shields?
Well, I mean, in the Battlefront game that we used to play, you had to take down the shields first before you...
Well, yeah, you have to take down the shields, but like...
But could it
actually do that? Because what do you think those bombs are? Just like built up plasma? Or do you think there's anything like substantive in it? Like an actual... explosive like missile or whatever? Because when I saw Luke shoot that missile down the throat of the Death Star, that just looked like a big ball of plasma.
Yeah, I don't think it didn't seem like an explosive device to me.
I mean, it definitely did the trick though. I mean,
Yeah,
nothing went up in smoke, you know? But yeah, I don't know. And I don't even think phasers would like penetrate the shield at all, dude. I think those phasers, like if you were to shoot phasers from like an X-wing or whatever at the Enterprise, I think it would just skip right off of those shields and just go off into oblivion somewhere, man.
Yeah, it seemed like those blaster cannon things on the X-wing were more designed for like TIE fighter kind of combat, dogfight sort of.
Yeah.
But
what about an Imperial ship? Do you think
Like-
the Enterprise or the Imperial ship would hold up?
like a Star Destroyer kind of a deal?
Yes, that
Oh.
yeah. That pizza slice looking ship.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think with the leadership and the ingenuity that Star Trek offers, I think the Enterprise might be able to. But then again, in Star Wars, the Empire is pretty ruthless. And like
Not
they
so
freaking
much
have,
anymore. Well,
they have Darth
yeah.
Vader too, so
yeah, but the thing is, like, Darth Vader, I feel like Darth Vader was like the last actual scary villain. You know? Well, at least in the Star Wars universe. Because growing up, I grew up with Palpatine,
Count
Dooku,
General
Darth
Grievous.
Maul, General Grievous, and obviously Darth Vader. And those people, they could keep you awake at night. You know, they could actually do some damage. But then you like Kylo Ren? The dude's like a misunderstood teenager. Like
with a bad attitude.
Like he just didn't have a... Someone took away his Fruit Loops or something. Like, the dude just didn't... He doesn't have that villain pop to me, man. He doesn't have that flair. Like, if I were to see him and... Like, if I was, Who's, Gosh, why can't I think of it? See, these new Disney... Like, when Disney took over from Star Wars, I just became super uninterested. The one stormtrooper who left the Finn. Yes, that's Finn. But like when Finn is in the woods and he's like helping Rey up or whatever, after Rey and Kylo Ren just had fought and he's helping Rey up, and then Kylo Ren looks at Finn and goes, "Traitor!" and like yells at him, and Finn turns around and sees him like. You know, dude, I'm thinking that Finn's gonna kick his butt like 12 times till Sunday. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, dude, Finn has got this, man. You are a lerpy, emotional teenager. Like, you're gonna get your butt handed to you. Like, Kylo Ren just didn't freak me out, dude. Like, he just didn't. And like, and that's kind of how it's been. Like, ever since Disney kind of took over, I'm just kind of like, it's not really there, you know. I'm not feeling the terror, you know. I'm not feeling the whole villainy and stuff. But despite all of that, I'm taking the Star Wars universe over all of them. Even though I love Star Trek, I love Star Trek so much, but I would still take Star Wars over it. You know.
That's fair. I mean, I do like Star Wars.
Yeah. What position would you be? Would you be a captain? No. I know you. You'd be tactical.
Yeah.
You'd be a tactical officer. You'd get in there and you'd blow crap up. You'd want to blow everything up that you could possibly blow up. Am I right?
Yeah, I could see it. I could be like a Sulu or a Chekhov, or I like those two.
Sulu and Chekhov, they piloted the Enterprise.
Yeah, I think
Didn't they?
that would be cool. I think it'd be cool to like. I always like Scotty. Scotty.
You eat like a bean and you're done.
Can't give it any more, Captain.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. Jettison all of the guys with the red shirts, but I'm wearing a red shirt, Captain. That was a Star Trek how it should have ended, because they were making fun of being just like everybody with a red shirt in Star Trek. They're always the first ones to die.
Yeah.
So we're going to jettison all of the guys with the red shirts first, while they're going into a black hole.
Yeah.
Ooh, that makes me think of another question for you. Do you think that if we were to make it to space, say Elon Musk's dreams come true, and we make it to as far as Mars. Now, we have the Voyager out there that is well into deep space, and we pick up its signal every now and again, which is pretty cool, actually. But like, if a human were to make it as far as Mars, do you think there's really any relevant way to be able to travel space? Like, if we get out there, with how big and how vast it is, if we could get a person as soon as they're born, like a newborn, say they're born on Mars, and they live their whole life in space, do you think throughout their lifetime they could even make a dent of traveling through the cosmos with how vast it is throughout their life? So like, what I'm saying is that if that goal was realized of making it to Mars, would we venture any further? Because to me, it's just like, people are going to start dying before we make it to Saturn.
Well, I do know that there's an asteroid belt that divides Jupiter from Mars. So crossing that barrier would be difficult. Would be really hard. The other thing is that, like, when I watch like Star Wars or Star Trek, they make it seem like you can just go in a straight line. And
when you're in a wormhole, sure.
well, yeah, it does. It just doesn't work like that. Like the Earth has its own gravity that pulls things in, and the sun has its own gravity. And
right, everything
planets.
is constantly falling and staying in place at the same time.
Right,
that's how gravity's working, and it kind of blows your mind, right?
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I do think that it could be possible. Well, I know it's possible. Like if you really look at what the human race has been able to do, like all the cool stuff that we've been able to get thus far, I have no doubt that with enough perseverance, with a little bit of divine inspiration, I really do think that it could be possible. But I don't know.
But isn't Mars the last rocky planet?
Yeah.
Jupiter, after the asteroid belt past Mars, everything else is just gas, right?
Right. Well, I know Neptune. I think it's Neptune. I think Neptune is like an ice giant, or maybe not an ice giant, but
I think one of the moons of Jupiter is.
Yes.
But I thought that everything else was just rock. I mean, not rock, gas.
I think you're right. Yeah. So
even if we did make it out that far,
we wouldn't be landing on those.
We wouldn't be landing on anything.
Yeah.
And if we got close enough, we'd still burn up and die, because like, there may not be rock there, but you're dealing with unbearable storms that no human could ever survive.
Right.
And a bunch of gas and things that the atmosphere would kill you just as soon as you got in there, mostly because it would be so dense and just so terrible. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but one can dream. But like, I always think of the thought of like, if you can't find like a wormhole or whatever, or you can't find some way to bend space to where you can get from point A to point B
Oh, yeah.
by bending all of this, then like there is no meaningful way to travel through space.
Yeah,
Like
if there's-
if you can't find something, if you don't have a warp speed,
Yeah.
then like yeah, you're not going to be doing anything up there, and you know. So,
yeah.
and like I think that's I think like that's not like super interesting because I think everybody understands this that like there is no meaningful way to like travel through space. But it's still just kind of like an interesting thought of just like we could realize all of our dreams by making it to Mars and being a multi-planetary species, you know. But like if we can't find a wormhole or something, like already with Mars, we have to wait until Mars is in a very certain position and the Earth is in a certain position to launch to where it's the shortest distance.
Yeah. And even then, it's going to take years.
It would take some
get there.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't. Did you watch the most recent
Launch?
from SpaceX?
No.
They launched their man, I am just forgetting things and I don't like it, man. Let me here, think about something to say real quick. Let me
I mean, I haven't seen the launch. I have seen some of them before. It's always cool to watch those launches because there's just something exciting seeing like counting down and then all of a sudden this huge thing lifts off into the air. Just it's a reminder of all the cool things that humans can do when you work together. I think that's the one thing that I like most about learning about space and watching Star Trek and Star Wars is because you see people work together to do just like crazy things. Like just amazing stuff. And like
we don't do it because it's easy, we do it because it's hard.
yeah.
If that's what was said, right? Because who was it that brought in, who said go to the moon? It was JFK, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I may be getting that wrong, but yeah. Purpose of these times and go to the moon, all of that wonderful jazz and stuff. But no, like it's definitely good. And it was their Starship, largest thing ever to be up in this space. Now it didn't get super far, you know. We've gone further, but still, it made it. And that's pretty cool. That's a pretty huge step. Do you think that they'll be able to realize the dream of terraforming Mars?
Yeah.
You think so? Or do you think that terraforming it will happen, or do you think it will be more of like we live in pods that can sustain human life?
Definitely the first
phase is going to be
Yeah.
pods, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll ever get to a point where they like create an atmosphere where like you could like take your spacesuit off and you'd be fine. I don't know. I mean, I think eventually anything's possible.
Sure.
I guess, but I don't know. I don't see it at least anywhere close.
Well, if one man is to be able to do it, it would be Elon Musk.
Probably.
One of my favorite things still was the government was coming at Elon for not paying his taxes. They were like, you didn't pay your taxes or whatever. Like, you're not paying your fair share, as they do.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk like came back at them and he's just like, my whole life is literally dedicated to making it a multi-planetary species so that we can get away from the government. Like, I was just like, what? Elon is so feisty.
Ooh, another question for you
Okay.
along those lines.
Okay.
So imagine you've
Okay.
been successful about
Okay.
launching a vessel that has hundreds of people on board, and you have the plan, you have the equipment in place to
Like
land on Mars and create like a civilization.
okay, so I'm Elon Musk. That's
Basically.
where I'm at. Okay.
Yes. What things would you change about our current civilization that you would make sure to leave out when you set this new civilization up? And
Oh!
what things would you make sure to bring with you?
Oh
to
my
set that
gosh.
up?
Oh my goodness. Whew.
You've basically got your
That
new
is-
civilization.
Yeah, so
What do you
I'm
do?
the president of a planet.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out what to do. Okay. So I would need to take time to set this up, obviously, because nothing's just going to happen overnight, which on Mars is like what? I think it's pretty close to Earth. Look up what a day is on Mars. I have no idea. But it would take some time. But as things get rolling, pods are developed, people are developing gardens, we're developing a greenhouse system, getting some fresh water going. Don't ask me how we're gonna start with the water or whatever. But it comes to be. Like I don't know all the answers. But like if I'm in charge and I'm forming like a kind of a government or something, the very first thing that I'm going to focus on is the financial situation. So I think that taxes are outrageous. You know, I'm not going to say I understand the point behind taxes of like we do need public systems, like we need a road, you know. We need our roads, our infrastructure, our government, like some government funded programs are a necessity. A lot of them are not. Okay. Like if you put me in charge, I'm slashing like 96% of that stuff. But what I would do is that there would be a tax system, even though, man, to have a tax system, we'd have to develop jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then there would have to be like a form of currency. And I don't think I'd want to bring currency from Earth. Knowing like if I'm Elon Musk, I'll just bring Dogecoin. To the moon, baby.
That's actually really funny.
But okay, so
Dude, if he hears this,
Elon, come on the show, man. We'd love to talk to you. But like, form of currency developed, and there's jobs. I don't know. In order to establish a form of currency, you just need something of value or whatever. So we would find the rarest element on Mars, just like how we would have gold and silver here. And the U.S. Treasury used to have gold and silver that backed up every single dollar that we had, and was actually worth something until they started printing stuff like they just could or whatever and ruined everything. But like, if there was like, so we would find like the rarest element, and we'd be like, okay, here is what we could spend as currency. Rare enough that we could find value in it, but also common enough to where it could support the system working, you know? And so that would be it. Or we would just simply start trading for goods, you know, like just do simple, like, you give me this, I give you that. I'll give you this greenhouse for your pot of water or whatever, you know, something like that. But either way, once that's established, there would have to be a pot that some money goes into to benefit everyone there, you know, like we need to pay, I don't know, there's a company there that keeps the air in the pods. They need to be paid so that they can keep their machines up to date, you know?
Right.
So we got to pay them. How do they keep it up to date? They trade value with Earth, and Earth sends up supplies. You know, I'm assuming that's how it would go. I don't know. I've never been to Mars, man, so I don't know exactly how it would go. But either way, currency would be established. So there would have to be a pot to give out to those necessary businesses that keep air in the pods, keep the lights on, you know. However, I would 100% make sure that everything is local. The biggest problem that we have with taxes is that, especially with federal taxes, I don't have a huge problem with the state taxes, you know. But with federal taxes, we all know that by the time you and I are at retirement age, we're not going to have any Social Security. There's the government spending that like it's nothing. Medicare and Medicaid, all like they're good programs and stuff, but the problem is that when this money finally reaches Washington, everyone along the way has put their hand in the pot, and they've all been like, we want this for XYZ. The Republicans, we want this for all of this stuff, you know. And they make bills and they just stuff it with pork and everything, and they make you think it's a good bill for the one thing that they want to make known to you, but they don't let you know about any of the other pork that's in there. And then they ask you for more and more taxes to support all of their ridiculous committee meeting funding or whatever. And so I would ex-nay taxes at the federal level. And I would say everything is localized. And, you know, we couldn't do states because obviously on Mars we want to be in states. So I guess we would do it by pods. So it's like this pod, if you want air in your pod comes together, puts all the money into a pot, and then you make a transaction with them and they will keep your lights on in your pod full of air. You know? None of this, send it to the federal government and then we'll take care of it for you. But yet we're also going to divvy your money up to all of these other people. That's just wasting money at that point. Keep it as localized. Like if we were to do that here, like we're going to keep our money localized here. We need new roads. So what are we going to do? In the state of Utah, we're going to have taxes for new roads. But it's only going to stay in the state of Utah. And then the state of Utah is going to contract out with a construction company here in Utah to make it. And then, of course, there would come partnerships with other states. You'd have to say, hey, we're building a road through here to go through our state. If you could connect up through here. Either way, my goal, there's a lot of holes in this plan, right? But my goal would be, first off, no money to the federal government.
So,
unless money to the federal government, because there would need to be Medicare, Medicaid, and there would have to be stuff to keep things going. But I don't know, man. I would just try to localize it as much as possible. Maybe the people send the money to the state, and then the state will decide what money goes to the federal government. And then the federal government would take a census of the people in the state and be like, this is how many people you have. This is how many people need Medicare and Medicaid. And then based off that number, Utah would send money to those people or whatever and keep it more localized. Like I said, there's a lot of holes in that. But that would be kind of like the first thing that I would do. And we're going to have to clean that up because I said a lot of ums in there and probably said a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense. But that's what I would do. I would try to localize everything. That would be my first step, is trying to localize and make sure that money goes in as little of hands as possible. Because the more hands that touch it, the more money you lose because everyone wants a slice of the pie. So it'd be good to go through as little hands as possible. And then after establishing that, my Congress, I would probably follow a model after the Constitution because I think the Constitution was divinely written. So I would follow a model after the Constitution, and I would have a Congress, and I would have representations of every single pod. And it would have to be small, obviously, because it's going to be forced that way to be small, at least for a while. But even when it gets big, I would still try to limit it as much as possible. And then just like here in America, probably someone's going to come in and ruin the whole system. Just like how it's happened here. But you know what? That's where I would start. I would start on government being as small as possible, money away from as many hands as possible. And that's probably how I would and how I would start it. And then obviously the first things that I would be worried about is making sure that there's shelter, food, and water for everyone. And then once the essentials are established, I would start going into luxuries of like, hey, is there a way we can get a TV up here and get the satellites from Earth to reach up here or something? Like, Elon Musk is putting Starlink all around the Earth. Why can't he do it around Mars, you know? So, like...
Yeah, well, I read a news article about how NASA is experimenting with laser transmitted messaging. So,
whoa!
Yeah, like...
Whoa!
And you can do it way faster that way. So, like...
Sure, dude. You know those laser things are...
Yeah.
Those things are fast.
So you could transmit messages using lasers. But I did have another question for you.
Wait. So you're saying, like, instead of waves, instead of a message riding a wave throughout space, it's just going to be riding this laser?
Yeah.
So, that's actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool word. That's kind of a cool thought.
I read it like it was one of the like the Google's suggested. It knows what I'm thinking, so that was one of the...
You were whispering lasers into it one day, and you were like, laser. And it was just like,
messages? Yeah.
If I needed to contact an alien, what's the fastest way? And it just brought up this laser. Go buy a laser pointer from Walmart. Just send your Morse code.
Yeah, no.
Do you think God would ever allow us to make contact with another species? Like, I mean, at this point, you have to basically... You have to believe that there's other life out there. It's just too vast and too big. And, like... this wasn't an accident. Like, Earth wasn't an accident or whatever. But even if you're one of the... Like, even if you think to yourself, no, this was just... We were just amazingly put in this one spot, and it was just so precise and perfect that life was able to flourish. Even if you think that way, there's so many planets and galaxies and universes out there. You gotta think that it happened somewhere else too.
Yeah.
So there's gotta be some sort of life going on out there. You think God would ever allow us to talk to them, or do you think God has all intentions of? Well, once the second coming comes, then, like, sure. But, like, as of now, y'all don't need that. You don't need that stress. So, like,
probably not. But,
I don't think so either.
But, I mean, he has allowed us, like, the people in, like, Europe, right?
Uh-huh.
They used to think that this is it. This is all there is.
Sure. Yeah,
And
I remember. Well, I remember. Yeah, I was there. I was there. I remember. No, I remember hearing that. Okay, anyways, keep going.
Well, they made their voyage and they were able to meet the new world, which is the Americas, and
yeah.
So that was something that
Amerigo Vespucci, right? He was the first one, and then there came Christopher Columbus. Who Christopher Columbus? He landed in South America, right? First.
I thought it was like Bahamas or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure of the story, but I mean, it's
yeah.
kind
Don't
of
come after us for our lack of history knowledge.
It's kind of a similar situation, you know. You take a voyage, you meet people. Kind of a similar.
Yeah, like.
But like, I don't know.
I still remember that there was one time where there was some humans chilling on an island that had never seen a plane or a helicopter before, and it flew over them, and we discovered them, and they probably had no idea what was going on, but they were a tribe just chilling on the island. And it's just like, that is insane. We had no idea that these people were there. We had no idea, and now like there's this tribe just out there, and don't mess with them. Don't like let them be, you know, and let them do their thing as they've always been doing. They're happy and they're doing their stuff. Great, but like I still think that's crazy. Like a whole tribe, like we're just discovering. Anyways, I'm sorry. You said that you had another question, and then I went on this tangent.
Yes. No, you're good. You're good. My question to you kind of a follow-up of the Mars civilization thing.
Oh, remember? It took me forever to explain that. So, like, don't give me something hard like that again.
But, like, how close of a relationship would you want with Earth? Like, would you want regularly, like, would you want, like, have to be dependent on food, or would you like to be, you do your thing, we'll do our thing, we'll share a little bit of knowledge, that's it.
Oh, okay. In my ideal oh man, that's a tough one, because, like, I think humans are capable of great good. Like, I think that if I'm on Mars and I make relationships with the right people who are only good, I think it would be so beneficial to the civilization on Mars, because you need trade. Mm-hmm. You need trade and you need relationships. And so I think that if you could only have good people, it would be super beneficial. But there's also very evil people. Now, like, if America discovers that there's oil on Mars, the bigwigs are going to make their way up there, and they're going to find some way to blow it up.
Tap into that.
Get some of that down there, and drill anywhere but your own oil fields, That's how we do here in America. But, like, yeah, so I think it would be very, very hard. If I'm Elon Musk and I'm in this position of where I get to now here we are, light years away from Earth, and what are they going to do? Like, they can't just get in a jet and come and get me, And so, like, what are they going to do? And, like, if they do launch another Starship, I'm going to have pretty good warning, because, like, it's going to take years, And so, like, what would they do on any decision that I would make? But first, starting off, it would be my correspondence with Earth would only involve staying alive. So if I needed food or water or parts for shelters, I think that I would be talking back and forth and being just like, hey, we need this. Can we please get this, But as for, like, luxury items, like trading for luxury things or whatever, if it's not an essential, I'm not going to be contacting Earth, unless it's essentially needed, at least for the beginning. And then the more that I could develop Mars to be, like, independent and everything, I don't know how much involved I would be. Like, I would definitely, obviously, I would make a deal to where there would be an outpost on Earth, to where if I ever needed to go there, or like, we needed to launch another Starship to here or whatever, like, it would be possible to do it. But I would be very, very, very hesitant of who I'd get involved. Because it only takes telling the wrong clan to all of a sudden have someone screw it up, Have someone mess up your whole entire civilization that you got going on.
Yeah. And it would be pretty fragile, especially at the beginning.
Right. It would be fragile because it's just like, I think everyone would want a part of it, like when America was discovered,
France, Britain,
everyone
Spain.
was just kind of like, give us some of that, we had to fight a war in order to finally have it our own thing,
right.
And like, that's great, but, like, if I'm up on Mars and you want to fight a war with me, okay, well, like, good luck, because, like, I'm light years away from you. So, like, what are you gonna do?
Launch a rocket.
You're gonna launch it. You're gonna hope it gets to me or whatever. Like,
oh, dang it, we missed. Now it's headed back.
You're gonna run out of fuel before you even get here. Oh man, No, like that's an excellent question, and it really gets me thinking. It kind of brings me back to my U.S. history days and in college, because they would ask those sort of questions. They'd be like, "You're the president of the United States, and you have a bunch of immigrants that want to cross the border. What's your policy?" And you'd have to come up with like a policy of like how you would get. So, anyways, it just reminded me of that, and I was just kind of like, "Oh man." Kind of put me back in that situation. So that's a very interesting question.
Kind of a little like role play. I mean, throughout history we've had similar situations as that, but kind of interesting to sort of put ourselves in that spot.
I got a question that has been on my mind. And this is going to be a total flip from space, which is a shame because we'll probably come back to it because we just really love talking about it. But this question was on my mind. Do you think money buys happiness?
No, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, interesting, because we disagree on this.
I was able to serve a volunteer 2-year mission, right?
Yeah. We're both Mormon here, man.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
Sorry, not Mormon. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Let's be proper about that.
and I got to walk the streets every day, right? And I would see these kids just happy as can be, and that's what they do. Like, they don't have, well, I'm there are playgrounds, there are places you can go, but there's just so many people, especially in the big city. I served in Manila, so I was in the big city for a good chunk of my mission. And I would see these kids, literally, they do whatever. They play games with whatever they can find. They have a game where you set up bottles and you basically, it's bowling, but you play it with your, they call it a chinelas. Mm-hmm. Basically your
I have no
flip-flop.
idea what that means, but
it's a flip-flop. Your shoes.
Oh,
they're little flip-flop sandals.
I was thinking of, I was way off, man. I was thinking of like a dice that you put in your hand and you shoot it or whatever for like the dice game. But okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah, they'll set up bottles and they'll just throw their little flip-flop, and they'll try and hit down the can or the bottle or whatever it is.
Cool.
And they would go around and they'd make little basketball hoops out of like rebar and whatever kind of ball they can make.
Sure.
And they would, if they saw a visitor, they'd run up to them and be like, hey, how are you doing? And all that sort of thing. And I don't know, they just seemed genuinely happy. And the Philippines is, it, like, for the most part, it's, most of the people don't have a lot.
Okay.
You know, they have to live on a small income, and for the kids, like, they don't have the money for expensive toys and everything, but
Sure.
but they make do with what they have, and they actually make it fun. Like, they make these little wooden tops where you put a rope around it and you just let it fly, and they would have spider fights where the kids, they would catch spiders. They would keep them in these little boxes. They would have a stick and they would put one spider on one end and another spider on the other end, and they would just see whose spider wins, like, eats the other one. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there's more to happiness than that. I think
you're bringing up a fantastic point. I don't disagree with that at all.
So, but yeah, I don't know. They just seemed really happy, and I learned a lot while I was there. But what about you?
No, I definitely agree that. Okay, so the question was, can money buy happiness?
Yes.
Now this is where I get a little finicky, and you're going to be like, "Math, you're dumb for dissecting the question this much," or whatever. But the key to me there is, can money buy happiness? Now, I don't think money can buy satisfaction. is what I'm saying. So like those boys, or those kids who were playing those games, you would say that they were satisfied, right?
Yeah.
They were satisfied with their life or whatever. So I don't think money can buy that. You know, I don't think money can buy satisfaction, because in order to be satisfied with your life, you need more than just money, obviously. You need more than possessions. You need friends. You need community. You need love. You need hugs. You need kisses. You need
Connection.
Yeah, you need connections with people, like those kids who are playing, you know, and I don't think money could buy that. But I do think that money can buy happiness just off of the nature of, if I have money, I can buy things that make me happy. And when I say that, it's not the money that brings the happiness. It's the places that you shop at to bring happiness, you know? Like, I spend my money on... I donated my money. Okay, I guess you didn't buy anything because you donated, but that donation could bring you happiness, because it's just like, you donated to the dog fund where you hear the song and the dog's coming up on the screen, and you donated to them because their dog's in need, and then you feel good because you're just like, I'm helping this dog, you know? So I guess you didn't buy anything technically, but I think you can feel pretty happy with that. And so that's why I say, like, happiness, I think you can buy happiness, because if you know where to shop and you know where to go with your money, and not just spend it on worldly possessions like cars and homes and, you know, real estate, even though, like, that's not bad stuff. Like, if you're going to do stuff to, if you're doing things to make yourself some money, I respect that. Like, I have nothing against a man or a woman making a living for themselves.
Sure.
You know, at least righteously. If you're doing it in a weird way, we might have to talk, you know, like, but, you know, I have nothing against people making a living for themselves. I just think that if you know where to put your money, and you know where there is most value, and you know where to place your dollar sign, like, I have a dream, right? I want to open up homeless shelters, you know? And not all the homeless want to go into homeless shelters. Some would prefer to just be outside in their tents, or however they make do, you know? But I have a dream of opening up a homeless shelter and finding some way to help the homeless to live in there, have food to eat, keep them warm. Whether I keep them warm by being inside of the shelter that I've made, or keep them warm by bringing them jackets and stuff outside where they would rather be, great. But that takes money, you know? And what really would help me is where I bought the stuff. What makes me happy is the property, and then the building on the property, and then the jackets that I buy, the food that I buy to put in their bellies, you know?
Right.
That is what makes me happy. It just so happens that in order to get all that, it takes money. You know?
Yeah.
So in those regards, I say, I do think that if you know where to shop, you know where to be, you know how to spend it, I think that brings happiness. But not satisfaction. Satisfaction comes when I look at the people that I'm helping, when I'm looking at them eat, when I'm looking at them stay warm, and I see a smile on their face, and I see them laughing. That's satisfaction. Money didn't buy me that. Money may have made it possible, but money didn't give me that. What got me that was the drive that I had to do the things, and the community around me, and the support and the help, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense. I didn't really, like, the question when I first heard it, I didn't really take it all in. Like, is it possible?
Oh, I tore that thing apart more than it. Don't worry, I went deep into that, so, like, I get it. But anyways, keep going.
Well, I just it's like, I didn't think about it like that. Like, is it possible that money can lead to happiness? For sure. Like you said, like, there are definitely things that you can do with your money that can cause a person to be happy. I do agree with you.
Mm.
Like you said, you mentioned cars and homes and things like that. Like, I think at least for our parents' generation, being able to buy a home
It's huge.
That was a huge thing.
Huge deal.
Yeah, and to have, for our generation, I think cars, like having your own car that's a great, accomplishment.
Well, it's a great accomplishment to have a car because ain't no way nobody's buying a house.
Yeah.
It's not right now.
So, yeah, I mean, I think there are definitely, like you said, like if you know where to put your money and you can manage it well, it can definitely be a great asset and can be a tool that someone can use to cause a lot of happiness to come into their life. Yeah.
All right. No, that is fantastic. That's fantastic insight. We're coming up on an hour now, and by the time we put the beginning song and the ending song in there that we like, it'll be an hour, and then we can see how much we can edit it down to fit within an hour. But I have another question. But do you have another question? If you do, we'll rock, paper, scissors for it.
I don't have one that's pressing.
That's like
right
setting
now.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is one that I saw and I thought that it was pretty funny. Well, not funny. Anyways, who would you pay the most money to see in concert?
Alive, only alive, or can it be?
Yeah,
dead as
no,
well?
you're at a great concert hall somewhere, and the person's there, and they would come out and play a concert. And the ticket is outrageously priced, but you are willing to pay it because you love the artist so much.
That's a tough one. There's only one or two that I would really that really come to my mind right now. I might have to give it more thought as I like. I'll probably think about it as I'm talking about it, but the two that I'm thinking of is either.
Wait. Let me guess. Adam Young, or
Yes.
Adam Young is one of them, and why can't I think? One Republic.
No. Well, I mean, it would be super cool to see them, but they were not what I was thinking.
Okay, so, who was it?
John Denver.
John Denver.
Yeah.
And that's a
Owl
solid
City.
one.
Yeah. I think it'd be. I got to go to a John Denver tribute concert, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed that when I took my mom and dad to it, and there's just something about John Denver songs that really hit the spot.
Yeah.
But Owl City would also be one of them, just because.
Oh, dude, love me
I-
some
I
Owl
just-
City.
Yeah,
Owl City's really good.
super good. I just love his music.
Oh, dude.
It always makes me feel
It's
good.
very relaxing and very feel-good music.
Mhm.
All right. I like it, man.
What about you?
Oh, dude. No, man. I don't spend money on concerts. Well, I have artists that I really, really, really love, but in accordance with that question, if the ticket was like outrageously priced and like super high, I don't think I would even go then. Like if an artist that was coming to perform, even if I really loved them, if the ticket was like 100 something, I would be like, yeah. Who would I pay?
Here's something.
Okay.
So this ticket also allows you to meet the person. So that's why it's so expensive.
Jeez. Oh.
Because this one I
dang.
have thought about.
Also allows me to meet the person.
Yep. You pay the extra 100, 200, however much it is, and you get the VIP experience where they meet and greet you beforehand. or after. I'm not sure.
Man, it's such a hard one. But I'm probably gonna go with Whitlory for it.
Cool.
I've listened. I just listened to so much of his stuff, you know, and so much hits me. Like, I don't think I've listened to every single thing that he has out there, but pretty dang close, you know. He just really raps about his feels, you know, and he's a guy that knows how to take situations that we don't really know how to express and put them out there and express them, you know. And now, not all of his songs. He's wrote songs about like relationships, breakups, and how much, and like love songs. And he's wrote things about money, and he's wrote things about many different situations. But there are some of his songs that just really like hit me and everything. And I think that I discovered him when I was in like the lowest parts of my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now recently I feel like I've hit in a new low, which has made me listen to him even more. But I discovered him first when I was back in college, and I was really feeling some hurt then, you know, with some stuff that was going on. And he could bring what I was thinking trapped in my own head. He could bring that out. And I could listen to it and it would be like super therapeutic, because it would feel like I could listen to it, and for some reason I would feel validated in my thoughts or whatever, you know. I'd feel like someone understood what was happening inside my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was therapeutic, and I just really, really, really fell in love with the way how he writes, the emotion that he captures. And I just kind of became all about it. And I went to his concert when he came here a while ago, you know, for his tour. And I came and I listened to him, and it was awesome. It was a bunch of us. You were there. We were all like, we were all just jumping up and down to this therapeutic session of just shouting out our woes, you know. And it's not for everyone, you know. That's not how everyone finds their therapy, and that's fine, you know. Do what works for you. And but yeah, probably Whit, you know. I would think that that's the direction that I would go. But John Denver, such a solid pick. Same with Adam. They're very good. They're very good. All right. I think that was a great first attempt at Square Talk. And as time goes on, you know, we're going to learn how to be better podcasters. We're just going to learn how to better communicate, I guess.
Flow better.
Yeah, flow better, and, you know.
But we talked about some pretty cool,
interesting
stuff.
And I'm probably going to keep the conversation with you going. Anyways, that was fun. I enjoyed it. And I think that this is a good example of life can be hard, and it's good to get the heart out, and it's good to talk about the pain and the depression and the anxiety that we feel. But it's also really good to just sit down with one of your buddies or whatever you got, even if it's with your own mind in your own room, you know? And all you have is yourself, at least for the moment. Maybe you don't have someone that you can go and talk to. Maybe all you got is yourself. But talking with yourself is super powerful and good for you. Think about the things that interest you. Think about the things that make you think. Did I say thinking too much there? Think about the things that make you think. That may be a little repetitive and kind of a moot point, but anyways, be with your what?
Just thinking of a funny quote when you said moot
point.
Yeah.
What was it?
It's Joey off of Friends. There's a clip where he says, "That's a moo point," or something like that.
That is such a Joey thing.
But he says it to where you almost believe it. You like he explains it in a way it's like, is that actually right? I don't know. It's just really funny. That's what I thought about.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's funny. But yeah, be with yourself. Listen to be with yourself. Think about the things that interest you. Think about the things that make you laugh and make you excited. Talk to God. I'm sure He would love to hear you. If I'm sure He'd love to listen about the things that you discuss. I think that's great. But anyways, it was a great conversation, and I'm super excited for the next one. Follow us on Facebook if you'd like to. I'm not gonna make you, mostly because I can't, nor do I have a desire to. But I have a desire to hear from you and to have you be a part of the Everything Project, because the Everything Project is kept alive by people that follow it. And we want to keep it alive. We want to keep it going. We think it's something good. We think it's something exciting. Anyways, stay in your dreams. Live your dreams. Bring them out. Stay focused. Stay happy as much as you can be anyway. I work a 9 to 5, and a lot of times it makes me sad just because I wish I was better and I'm not always in the right headspace when I do it. But when I can sit down and talk with my friend about space and about things that I just enjoy, everything becomes a lot clearer in my mind and fun and exciting. So, yeah. Anyways, stay good, stay happy, and peace out.
Turns out all of my highs are making love to my lows, making fun of my boundaries, sticks and stones. You say love, I believe it to the bone. If I could see how you